Raid positioning for Cthulhu will make or break this fight, as
Raid
personal
positioning.
responsibility plays a huge role during both Phase 1 and Phase 2. Shown on the map is the proper arrangement of your raid group once everyone is in the room. Start off first by reorganizing your raid so that each group has one melee DPS.
Do you really gotta draw graphics like this? Like, can't I just say, alright, spread the fuck out, right? And then everyone just spreads out. You really gotta, like, break it down like this? Really? I'm just gonna say, everyone, spread the fuck out, and it's just gonna be fine. It's just gonna work, it's gonna work itself out.
One
It'll be
ranged
fine.
DPS, and a healer.
Alright, healer number 8, report to Vector Quadrant 3. Healer number 4, report to Vector Quadrant 7.
The last
Like,
two
you
slots
gotta
will be
do it
your
like
choice
that.
depending on your raid composition. Finally, keep in mind that add-ons such as Cthulhu Warner can help your raid when inside the room to show if you're properly spread out from other
My guild
players.
does. My guild will.
To better visualize this scenario, we can use placeholder models to show where each player should be located at during the fight. The first ring around Cthulhu should be the melee DPS, however, exceptions to this are guilds with a heavy melee roster. They might stack their melee players together to increase raid DPS at the expense of more raid damage.
Indubitably.
While other guilds will rotate melee players in and out of safe zones during the fight. The second ring will primarily consist of your ranged DPS, while the final and outer ring of players should be made up of your healers and tanks.
Okay.
However, getting into the room is a different problem, as the goal is to get inside without an I-beam killing your entire raid. Coming up next, we'll cover 2 ways to get your raid inside the room. Start with having your odd groups 1, 3, 5, and 7 on the left side of the entrance, while even groups 2, 4, 6, and 8 will be on the right.
The other day, we were doing Nefarian, I'm not even kidding, and I said, okay, even groups are on Throne side, odd groups are on Chromeg side. Literally, someone said, which one is odd? He actually asked me, what is odd? Like, there's no way we're killing this boss. There's no fucking way we're gonna kill this boss.
Right side of the entrance. Option 1 involves having your main tank peek around the corner so that Cthulhu targets him or her first. The main tank will then run down the hallway, away from the raid, while everyone else rushes into the room and toward their spots.
Yeah, odd is 2, 4,
By the
6,
time
8.
Cthulhu
Yeah,
targets
yeah.
random players, everyone should be at their spots. Option 2 involves the same start, but the difference is that the even and odd groups will travel together along the edges of the black fire. Once a player is marked by Cthulhu, then they'll move out of the group, while the other players distance themselves to reduce the chances of a chain effect.
What if you don't have the mounts and you have to move in super slow, dude? Then you're like, then you're double fucked because it just takes way longer, right?
With option 1 it requires
You're
less
fucked, then you're
coordination,
fucked.
but the downside is possibly random casualties.
Okay, well, here's what we're gonna have to do then. Listen, guys in power, if you're listening, we are going to not even attempt Cthulhu until our entire raid has mounts. So that's probably like, you know, maybe 4 or 5 lockouts. So don't plan on killing Cthulhu until maybe week 6 before we can get a mount on everyone in the raid. We're not even gonna try it.
Due to 40 players running throughout the room at the same time. While with option 2, it requires a lot of coordination and trust, as one mistake can lead to a raid wipe. But
We're
the
gonna split
benefit
raid
is
to
getting
farm
everyone
mounts more
into the room
effectively.
alive
Yeah.
if it can be pulled off. For this last section regarding Phase 1, it's incredibly important that every player in your raid knows that during Dark Glare, everyone must move to their opposite positions. So if you were located here, then you would be here after Dark Glare ends. During the second Dark Glare, you would move again, which ends up being your original spot. The reason behind doing this is because Dark Glare tries to disrupt your raid's positioning, and repeating these.
I can tell you guys something very basic. This is basic geometry, okay? So let me show you something. If this is Cthulhu, and this is the room that Cthulhu is in, okay? And he starts casting, everyone pay attention, this is actually very important. You always see people fuck this up in WoW. He starts shooting the beam right here. It is better for you to hug the inside of the circle to dodge it, rather than the outside of the circle, because your travel time is, the tighter you are in to the axiom of the laser focal point, means the less travel distance and lower velocity you have to overcome. You know what I mean? That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Out here, you are further from the axiomatic focal point, meaning your velocity must increase to travel around the outer perimeter of the diameter of that's what I'm trying to tell you. So get in tight, keep it tight, and you're going to be fine.
These rotations make sure that everyone is properly spread out during the entire fight,